Good morning to you, the birds. Where they doing, Kia?
Are chirping.
Ooh. That's on my shower kids, okay? One of my favorite videos ever is of them just in their younger stages. And now I can actually know what I mean by their younger stages because all of my kids are getting big. And everybody is little people. And my husband was right. They were going to get good and busy for us. And that's where they at. They grown little people. Even the twins are turning 14 this year, you guys. Neve is turning 18. Serenity is turning 16. Y'all know how my life is. October, November, December. Then Christmas, then Kwanzaa, okay? And I have yet to hit my fortune. But we made it, honey. So we didn't waste that fortune. God knows he had to get us past these stages. Because they probably would have been spoiled. But thank God he only let us spoil them in love and mindset.
They spoiled. They all spoiled. So they go on trips I ain't never been. And she got $5 foot long. Yeah, I was just telling them.
Thank God for their dad that has always found a way. It's like he worked in places that gave him the advantage so that they can have opportunities. That's why I'll be in the hotel. I'll be like, listen, it's a $300 night room. Because your daddy spent his time. It wasn't free. He get a discount because of the work he has to do in order to maintain their properties and stuff like that. But it's just, as long as you let them know. Look up the real price, baby. Know that it's been paid for by this daddy. Right? This daddy gave you, God the Father gave him the health and the mindset and the ability, but he had to get in action with this bodily dwelling thing, right? So he had to actually walk it out, faith it out, right? And so faith is a walk. It's a faith walk. You got to get in action for your attraction, right? Freedom after insight to higher self. So you want to take trips and you know they too expensive, then he got a job in which he can find, right, and that's it. And if you have a plan, then there's nothing that you can't have. Because God said, ooh, Amber, look. You know, we all on the same system, that's for sure. But yes. We are finally going to do that topic that we were supposed to do for about a week already. About a week ago. And I think the topic is, what is the topic again? Why do I keep on forgetting it?
What's that topic? What's the topic?
Oh, are men really intimidated by your boss status or your time status? Are men really intimidated by women's boss status or is it their time status?
Boss status or time status?
Right? Because sometimes we learn with vocabulary that we get caught up in titles and we're missing the point. And so I think I think any man would really want, a woman to be successful and to live in her dreams and accomplish her goals for the majority part, right? Because when you happy, they happy, right? And so I know that parts of me is like, okay, like I feel like, okay, I became an author, wrote some books, also created a line. I started a whole movement, and then sometimes I'm speaking here. I did at the colleges and stuff, all while still, nurturing a family. And I would consider myself to be boss up, but what is a boss, right? Boss is what? So I really think it's really a time. And we say the word boss and it makes it seem like they don't want your success or they don't believe in you. But I see so many men that uphold their women and celebrate their women. And sometimes their women are got to a position where now they get to help them more than them helping them. And they get to let them rest. And it's just so many different things that has evolved. And I don't think that it should be seen as emasculating as it is more validating, right? validating your efforts and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I don't know that it's really the boss thing, or is it that the boss don't have time for me thing, or have time for a lot of stuff?
I think the boss part probably have more aspects of it, as far as attitude and all that. But as far as being a boss, as in being a boss of a business or something like that, but I think I know for sure. I know with me, it's definitely the time, because
because you was a boss, you was your own
money
boss.
And you doing your thing, baby. Yes, you doing it, but can I get some time? Or you traveling too much for me, and this is not what I signed up for. Like I didn't meet you like this, so now it's like, can I get some time? So.
Right, because when you were out a lot, was it
you almost in divorce? Because it's like you going again, or you doing this again, and it's like you ain't never home, or you stuck on the phone all the time, like that boss. Depending on all your duties and stuff you have with it, it could be a lot, and it takes away definitely from the household. And from the family, and you're not doing family functions, you're doing business functions, and you're traveling here and you're traveling there. So you got to have a good balance with that. Yeah. But
good morning, Mama Faye.
Good morning, Aunt Faye. To you, the birds are chirping. Yeah, so it's like I don't never get to spend no time with you. You ain't never here. You always traveling. So that time was like a deal breaker of a almost divorce. Because it's not about the money. You want to be boss, you want to be bossed up with somebody else. Not me. Because I need to see you home a little more for what I'm used to. So yeah, I believe it's definitely the time. But now on the other flip side of it, with that boss mentality could start affecting other things, because you're in control, and you are in control of other people. Not in control, but you like what's the word? Like you're responsible for other people too. So you kind of bring that boss attitude into the household and it's like, whoa, you get a little feisty, ain't you? Or you get a little mouthy, ain't you? You ain't used to be like that. You get a little title, I ain't one of your teammates. Like, who you talking to? So now the boss title and everything that you do with your not employees or nothing like that, but your team or whatever your boss thing is, right? You a boss, you might have employees, right? Because it takes a team to make the business run, right? So you start bringing that attitude and that type of
energy.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Into the household. And it's like you got to learn when to separate it, because you home now. So you get to relax, relate, and refill. But no, you being still the boss person. Mm-hmm. You ain't bossing me around. Like, hold up, I'm the man, per se, right?
Per se.
What Aunt say, joy is when you can do your boss work with your family. Yeah, like you wear several hats. So I mean, come on now. Come on, Ari. She said they're 100% intimidated with the boss thing. She said they're 100% intimidated. Now, I think it depends on the man. You're saying all men? You think all of them are 100% intimidating?
No way.
Some would love, like, I don't think a real man should be intimidated.
No, I don't think it's intimidation.
What's the whole goal of you being a boss? I mean, as far as the family dynamic is to you have a goal of doing things, right? And
I think it's a difference between your body mate and your soul mate, right? And so if your minds are entangled or in alignment, then y'all have the same goals, right? And so I always say, oh my God, my biggest supporter has always been my husband, right? Because he has to take care of everything. And then when I'm trying to do other projects, I'm having to pull from the investment of the things that he needs to do for the family for me to invest in certain things that I want to do that I don't have the budget for at the time, right? You can find different ways of moving money and being smarter about it. But as far as that support, oh my God, through the roof with support, through the roof with like, oh no, you don't write poetry, you don't write songs. Like he was the first person to say that to me. So I don't think that men are intimidated. I saw Sarah Jake's husband get up there, and he's never had 40,000 people, I believe, show up for his event. And he watched her do something that wasn't done. And what I saw was proud. What I saw was, I told you who you could have been, right? I didn't see intimidation. And she's a boss in her right, but she also balanced knowing that she is a wife. She also balanced taking the time to even speak to her little daughter that was 6 and say, I know mommy is busy and you don't understand that I'm doing a lot. And so I want to say publicly, I'm sorry that I didn't have the time to cuddle with you last night because I was so focused on this assignment, right? Yeah. And that I didn't want you to feel neglected. And so that's what I mean by recognize, right? It's time management, because you can be a boss and even if you're a man and you're a boss up and you don't spend time with your family, you neglect that. And maybe the wife is with the pool boy and maybe the kids are going crazy. I always say a job is like a job. And even if you're a boss, if it's not has created his own system, you still got to work like you was going to a 9 to 5. So it still takes you from family time. It still makes you miss games. It's still all of that. So it's not just a boss as a woman. You know, you hear the same complaints when somebody is so much as a boss that you feel like, but what about me? What about the part that is me, right? Is life all about you making money to have stuff, or is it the quality of life, right? Not the quantity of life. And sometimes we think boss mean quantity of life, but boss really mean a quality of life. How have you balanced each area of your life to be at a erected place, shall we say, right? And so sometimes people get thinking that, oh, because I have a lot of money, I have quality. No, you don't. You have quantity. Having quality is having relationships that matter, is being able to take a break, is not being worried about what your fiscal year is going to end like because of all these stuff that you put into this basket to occupy you and make you feel worthy enough. But the only thing that makes us really worthy is the peace we feel at night. And so sometimes you're so bossed up. I've seen people who went from online to fighting for a brick and mortar, then getting in a brick and mortar. And I love that they were so honest about their testimony, because it was like, oh my God, I was winning online 24/7. Where I didn't have no overhead and I didn't have to worry about employees and I didn't have to open up and close, and I could really just go live when I wanted to paint, and I could really just do a quick seal when I had to, like, it just, they own more of their time. And when you start to put yourself in to the management and the restraints of time, that is the thing that surrenders you from being able to be equally yoked as a boss in all areas of life, right? So I want to be a boss as a wife. I want to be a boss as a mom. I want to be a boss as an entrepreneur. I want to be a boss as a friend. I mean, you can't just think that boss is just material, right? It has to be the balance of all things coming together that makes who you are. And so it's like, I don't know that they don't want a boss or they love a boss, because honey, only a boss can manage a whole house. Only a boss can manage 4 kids under 4 at the same time. That's boss attitude, right? Only a boss can organize the house, cook the dinner, fold the clothes, and make sure stuff is running and the kids. Only a boss can do those type of things. So those are, all different ways that if you could apply any of them and put them in the workplace, it's like, okay, this would be this. So you can find a description for every job title or role that you do in your life. So it's like, what does it mean to be a boss for real?
But that boss could just be an attitude.
Right.
You got a boss attitude. You ain't the boss of me. Like, right? We kids talking about sisters
Mama
and
says
brothers.
When the family is working with you like one bite, right? They work a system.
That part.
They do real good. Financial freedom, personal freedom, family freedom, fun, and legacy. That part. And that's a quality of life.
Quality of life on all.
Not a quantity of life. Right. Quality.
Right. Little sister be like, you ain't the boss of me, telling me what to do when they little kids. So it's just like an attitude of like, you telling me what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
So I think that is a good topic that, you know, would good do. A good topic to do with a mocktail, cocktails, and conversation. We can invite the men on a later, like a 9 p.m. talk, where you can get their perspective, right? Because I think
you definitely need to get their perspective.
You know, because we could keep on telling each other the wrong information all day long. You know, as I found out that we just continue to share common sense.
What we feel,
which would be common, because women are more. It's true that women have more numbers than men, so the way we think would be more common than them. So when we're talking about our men, we're not talking about common sense. We're talking about logic sense. They don't have common sense because there's not enough of them to do the commonality, right? If we're doing the lower average, common means the average of person. That's what makes it common. So when they say that the only person that don't have common sense would be males, because they're not as common as woman is. So that was another topic that we had to dig deep one day. I was like, you think? And so I had to reach them in. So you would say that there's more women than men. Absolutely. Yeah. You had to let them go on a journey by letting them know they're going on a journey. Then when all was said and done, I said, so then would you say that numbers is what, if we say something is common, it's because of the numbers, the average, right? More people think that way. That's what makes it common. So when you guys are talking and say women have no common sense, no. What we have is common sense. What we don't have is that logic sense, that sense that has no emotion attached to it. That's what we don't have. But common sense is what we share. And so that's why we all got a common goal, because it's more of us. And so that's why we can move mountains, we can nurture, we can change the whole world when we get commonality, right? If one person say I ain't gonna have it, and all women say we ain't gonna have it, then guess what men don't have to do? They have to fall in line. But as long as you ain't having it and she gonna have it, then I can find something. I could always divide. As long as I divide, I conquer. So, you know, we are the commonality. If we want them to go how we want them to go, then we got to get into fruition, right? We have to get into alignment with one another so that we can bear the fruits of what we want to see, right? And so you can be a boss and they can enjoy it because we sat down and had real common conversations, which really heal and help all areas of our development, right? Because we came to develop together.
We come together when something happened and we talking about some race stuff or something, we be marching. We come together to pick up a sign and start marching, but that's about it. We got
Monday come, we back at work. They marching on the weekend.
Take it a little
share
further.
Words, not necessity. What is it?
Necessarily.
Not necessarily factual information and knowledge.
My daddy always told me I have plenty of analytical sense, but no common sense. Okay, you analytical, all right? You analytical, but no common sense. You don't think like everybody else. You more analytical. You think more into it. It's not common, okay?
Yeah. And that's where, but you know, the more, like, even with the men, right? When they be like, they don't have the common, right? That's why they lack a lot of the emotion that is needed. And that's why we have to get out our feelings and into our healings, because when we are, then we lack that thing. And so you got to go through the motion in order to detach yourself to get to that analytical part, right? But most times people never get out of the emotional part to now separate yourself from the situation in order to move past it, right? As long as you still carry the situation, that's that emotional. And so we need to be analytical when it comes to our spiritual growth, because then that is what allows us to resurrect from every situation. And if we stay like in that emotional space, when we're doing spiritual growth, we never let go and let God. We always hold on to the very thing that stops us from becoming a water walker, right? Because to be a water walker is to let the stuff go so that you can be less dense. The heavier you are, the more you sink. So if I'm a water walker, that means I let go of the things that I cannot change because I know it was a part of my process into my promise because they too had to stomp grapes before they was wine. You had to apply pressure to coal in order to retrieve a diamond, right? All of these things we understand is the process into the promise, but we are not analytical when it comes to the spiritual growth of ourselves because we still holding on to things that matter not. The story is what gives God the glory so that you can always remember from how far he's brought you from, so you're not afraid of where you're going. Because if you look from behind you, then how can you be afraid of what's in front of you? The distance that you have come through is so much greater than where you are going. It's like, God, I'm so glad that I'm 40 something because the ladder is behind me. Good God Almighty, he gonna give me double for my trouble. That means if I have made it that far for that long, then the rest is nothing. Because analytically, spiritually, I have seen time and time again that no weapon formed shall prosper. I have the evidence of it.
From looking behind.
From looking behind.
You have the evidence from looking behind.
Yeah.
That's what you should be seeing.
That part. She said he complained about it, and then he trained her in that way. And then he was looking at her like, why are you so analytical?
I trained you to think before you speak.
Right.
So you're so analytical, but then you don't have common sense.
To know what to win. Because you see what? That's why they say obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience would be the win. Come on now, the WHEN. And that's the hardest part about the process because you've already been sacrificed, but it's the win. And all the times they was giving Jesus a hard time, it was the when he was supposed to surrender and let them put him on the cross. That was the timing because the sacrifice was what he was going to do. All the time he sacrificed to even get to this point and not save himself. He sacrificed by not even saving himself. But the win is way more important than the sacrifice. Otherwise, you miss time. You miss the timing. So win, right? Because that's why they say obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is the win. Is if I tell you to sit down, you sit down. But if you don't know to sit down when I say sit down, the car will hit you. Correct. So it doesn't matter if you're not obedient to my voice. I know you want to run across the street right now, but if I say sit, be still, and you don't sit and be still, then your sacrifice means nothing, and you just got hit by a bus because you wasn't obedient. So we understand that sacrifice is one thing, but learning when to speak and how to speak and who to speak and what cut to it. Now that's the learning of the obedience part. And that's the part that fits in time where God seizes the moment because he's not concerned about your sacrifice. He's concerned about, I put you through all that, but will you still be obedient? I know you went through hell and back, but right now is not your time to talk about it. Or I know you've been through hell and back, and now I need you to open your mouth. Or that's like obedience.
I'm talking, but you're not listening. And it's like when you finally listen, it's too late.
It's too late. Because now I done got somebody else, get somebody else to do it.
You God said I'm gonna get somebody else to do it sooner than later. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you eventually listen, but had you listened when I told
when
you,
the whisper came,
I first told, oh Lord,
you would have been there a long time ago, right? Because hindsight is always 20/20, right? I said,
you would have listened sooner than later.
Come on now, we all know what it looked like. It would look like yesterday because we got there, but we wasn't obedient. We was wanting God to glorify us for the sacrifice that was made. Oh, I was sacrificed, Lord. Oh, they lied on me again. Oh, they hurt me. Oh, they molested. They hit me. They left me. They betrayed me. But was you obedient when I told you to pour into somebody else? Was you obedient when I told you to love somebody like you've never been loved? Was you obedient when I told them to be the evidence of yourself? Was you obedient when I told you to go through the process for the promise? Were you obedient?
Wow.
Everybody came to be sacrificed. That's the price of admission, honey.
Yeah, well, in my head, all I can see is when Steady was like, you know, because we see somebody run, you just start running. I don't know why you running. I just know you run it, and I'm going to run.
And I'm going.
I figure, what we running for? He said, I'll be like, well, what's going on? Why is everybody running off? What's over there?
Did I send you the video of the skeleton and the two kids?
I'm Hey, you gotta be obedient and just follow suit, because I'm telling you, gonna find yourself in a huckabuck if you don't.
And a huckabuck.
And a huckabuck pretzel.
That's why I never remember sending this stuff out.
What?
But I want to see something. Oh, Tiffany just had a baby girl. Carlton, yeah.
What?
Yeah, she is a mom to the third power. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jacob. What's going on, King? Wow, Shell, when people be out of sight, you don't know.
You don't even know they're out there brewing, honey.
Wow.
I'm so glad I'm out of the baby making business.
Wow. Girl,
I have retired from the baby making business. Let me tell you. She, me, her is done making babies. Done.
Oh, well, job well done.
Thank you.
Obedient.
If I do say so myself.
If I do say so
this
myself.
Kia.
As a baby.
Look at the thing. Look. See? She gone.
Right. Is he like
gone?
Gone.
We got to go.
Look, and they playing with it.
We got to go.
Ain't scared of nothing.
I'm sorry, y'all. That was a funny.
That was funny. See, that just goes to show you something ain't right.
But yeah, today's topic was
move away.
Are men? What was the topic, Kia? Why I keep on forgetting that topic?
Oh, it is.
Oh, are men really intimidated by your boss status or your time status? That was the question of the day. Well, it was a question of last week and we never got to it. So we was like, today's the day to tap onto that question. So we were talking about, what it means to be boss. And is it the intimidation of boss? I just really feel a man with love. Yeah, we need a man's perspective.
What you say, Jacob?
I don't think men are intimidated by the boss. I think they're intimidated by maybe the lack of time that you now have. Perhaps in the area that you're bossing up.
Because if that's the case, a man is gonna do man duties and man responsibilities, but that shouldn't make you intimidated. Because being a boss means help. That means good help.
Mm-hmm. No, but you know what? That's only because, and that's what we do as people. Anytime we hear the word, we always think about the best parts of the job, right? But there are many people who are boss.
Financial.
No. We could say to that, right? Because you're a boss. There's a lot of businesses in which you have to spend your time. Let's say a restaurant business where you could be the boss. You could be the baker, but you're not making profit yet. You may not see profit for 3 years because you are a new business. You are the boss. Yeah. And you have to do all that. So money may not even be a factor. It may not be something that's actually added. But when we think about boss, we don't think about the stress that it is. That's even if you're bossing a house, if you're bossing a business, you're now having to deal with personalities. You're having to control your financial, what's coming in, your pay. Like you have a financial responsibility for people outside of just yourself, right? You have to now create schedules. You have to, it's so many different areas. You have to make sure that the people that you hire in certain positions, depending on how high are you up at bossing, right? And so when
a lot,
if you come home with an energy, with a bad energy, the people get that. Like if you go to work and it's a bad day, right? You can bring that home. So if you're in a bad space financially, let's say, so because at least when you got financial stability, it makes you probably deal with it a little bit more because you can at least. But if you still worrying about bills and it's taking more than it's putting in right now, then you're gonna be a different type of energy. So we are assuming that you talking about the busy boys who making 6, 10, 5 figures a month, and why would you have a problem? We ain't talking about that one. We talking about the ones. We're talking about the one that's trying to figure it out. We're talking, and we're talking about the one who may have about all of that, 50 people too.
I know her attitude probably off the
Nigga, so what? Let's talk about all of the facets, not just one side of it. Well, at least we bring in money. No, you ain't bringing in no money either.
You bringing in money. You bringing in attitude. You bringing in energy. Right. I'll take it all. I don't want none of that.
How many people know God didn't give them that power for a reason?
Some people don't need it, because I'm telling you, at some of these jobs, these people get these little titles and don't know how to act. You be like, who you telling the girl? If you don't go sit down because you the damn team leader.
And you ain't paying none of my bills and you got that attitude. So I don't know how you're acting at home when you done got 6 figures in the bank. You might be looking like,
see what I'm saying?
Need you. I don't need you.
Yeah, on face that some men are aroused by your boss status and enjoys the fact that you handle your business instead of him pecking and monitoring his every move.
For real. That's what I said. I think there's a lot of men wouldn't love it as long as you don't get lost in the title. And you hang that boss at that work up when you get home to the house, right?
Yeah,
you want to be,
play the role when you need to play the role, but drop the role.
When you get home, you don't need to be a boss. You just need to be in love. How about that? And that's for both people. You don't come home to be no boss. I don't come home to be. We come to be in love. When we come into the sanctuary, we come in to be in love and in love only, because love grows everything. And so ain't nobody coming to control nothing but the energy of love, to make sure we got more than we had yesterday. So maybe that could be the plea, to leave your boss at the door and come in love only. And maybe that could be a conscious decision.
Come in as my wife. Come in as my, how was your day, baby? My confidant. My,
vice versa.
Yeah.
So whether it's the man that's, because I remember when I be like, oh, I was home with the kids, and then he worked, and he come and he tired. I'm like, I need to do something. I need to have regular time. And then he's like, but I'm tired. And I'm like, I don't understand that. And then when I got me a little part-time during the holidays, he was like, come on, let's go. And I be like, I'm tired. So I had to live to understand it. But when you're in the moment, you take everything personal. And it's not personal. It ain't about you.
I know.
And that's what years of going through different stages in marriage and even with the kids. There was a time when you just was so busy with you tired?
Yeah, that's true.
But then when I was going out in car, I was like, boy, I was realizing that it was going more days, and I wasn't asking for that because then I was tired. So I believe that
feeling of not having to do anything. You're just relaxing.
And then I found out, being selfish, right? When you take the time to fish for self, then you could be selfless, because then I need less of myself in certain areas because I already know how to feed myself. So I don't take it personal. That's why I get that phrase. I don't take it personal. I take it process. And some of the things that I was taking personal was hindering my process. It had nothing to do with me. And two, I was in the shoes of it. That's why I always be talking from a different, girl, I know I was me. That was me. That's how I felt. I'm telling you from my experience that I had to learn I had to feel a different way by thinking a different way and then doing a different thing. And then it's like we just always happy, laughing, go lucky. You can literally change your environment and your atmosphere by your attitude. It does dictate your altitude. It really does.
Stop looking at it just from your angle.
Oh my God.
Try to see it from the other angle. Try to see it from the angle if you can make sense of it. Try to make sense of the other angle if you can.
If you can.
But if you never even give it a chance to look, because you so stuck on how you stand it, like you say, the man is because I can understand that. The man is at work, I'm tired. I don't feel like, how do you mean? Everybody else go to work in there. It's just a part of life. And it's like, why you gotta be so tired? Why other people could still do it? We still gotta have a life, but then it's like, okay.
And comparison is the thief to gratefulness.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so it's like, okay, but I guess you
just gotta understand,
how your body is feeling,
how you wired.
Correct.
And we are all wired different.
Everybody is different. Correct. So
we are all wired different, and that's what
you ain't doing nothing all day. You just chilling, and you ready.
You got time.
Ready to go.
You ready to go.
And it's like, it's Friday, it's Saturday, but you still tired. It's like, why?
Because when you could sleep in, I'm gone. So when you had time to get up when you felt like it, I'm already outside of the feel like thing. So then it was like, oh, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. And I had to be like, oh, okay, just like I'd be like, oh, I want adult interaction. Let's talk. And then everybody just come to the house, right? Because the kids is here. So now I created an atmosphere where we all win. So you can decide how to it's your life.
Friends, you get the adult interaction, you get
you say that?
You get everything. You got
everything I wanted. I brought right to me. And lived a very full life. By bringing it right to me. Every happy moment, I could say most people would say it was at our house. For so many years, because whether it was the kids' birthdays, whether it was our birthdays, whether it was his, her, or whether it was Thanksgiving, whether it was Christmas, whatever it was, we laughed and we got the good thing of playing games that we learned from our aunts and our grandma, and we always was a game. So we brought people together.
Bringing people together.
And then I was just looking at videos of Essence when they was in high school. Now she off in her own place, graduated college and everything. But they were right here cooking, and it was game night, but it was all her friends over for game night. And they were playing games. And I saw my Chef Ron teaching T how to cut the chicken. And they was frying it. Like, it's just, so I just love when the memories come up. And it's like, you just live while you're living. Be intentional about how you live in, what you add in, because the memories come back later.
Be intentional about what you're adding. Definitely.
And be a boss in love.
Right, because you can always
lead in love.
Be taking, but be intentional about what you're adding.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on what you're adding and being intentional with positive love.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff. But yeah, so that was all we had to say about that topic. I thought that topic was a good topic.
Yeah, that was good.
If you watch a replay, which I know y'all will, let us know what you think. Do you think more men celebrate the boss in the women or not? And do you celebrate the boss in your man? Maybe you be like, oh man, he's so busy, he got too much going on. It's not just a one-sided, but it is being honest.
Just the aspect of being a boss. Do you think it's intimidation on both parties of being a boss or not having time?
The time.
Is it the time or the actual boss aspect of it?
Right. So is they a boss and they got an attitude problem and now everything is to their head?
They bossing everything?
Or it's like, I don't like the boss because it just keeps you so busy that I don't get the friend I used to have or the companion I used to have. And I miss you, right? Because sometimes that's all you got to say. Was that I miss you, and then you could be like, oh wow, and then intimacy going, and then maybe y'all could work together and everything. But yeah, be honest of your feelings. So
say how you feel,
so that they don't take it to their ego or their she-go, as they say.
Correct.
Right, so that I'm very clear of what the problem is, and it ain't really about that status.
Right.
Is you bring that, you could be the boss that brings that intimidation home because you're so used to running everybody that you come in still with that militant on. So it's like, okay, so I have to intentionally leave it at the door, right? So that's why you should have those.
Or you wreck yourself.
What's the word? You should do a evaluation every 90 days, even in your relationship. I'm gonna put together good questions you can ask, and y'all could do scores, and then you could really do a report card to your relationship like you would in your job and in your areas, like almost like I was saying when you report for your I hire myself, but imagine doing that in your thing. So under the Marriage University, I said by the 90 days we start and all of that could be one of the things. Being a Chef Ron to sit together and then get other people's things, what is a good question to ask every quarter, every season, because every 90 days you can build a mustard seed of something. So maybe you don't need to do it yearly. Your relationship is way more important. You spend 24/7 with that person. You're trying to build, develop, grow. Year. So on your job, they decide after a year. But I think quarterly, every season,
a quarterly evaluation.
Y'all talk about where y'all are, what you can improve in each other's lives, or don't be petty. Be serious about the development of the mature. Yeah. of your boss status in your relationship. And so it's good to boss up in the world, but what have you bossed up in your relationships? By really being intentional about what you were adding, what they were offering to you, what you wanted, what you expected, where you're going. You know, they say where you see yourself in a year from now.
What we doing? Don't be all of a sudden a year to come up. I don't know what we doing. You should know what y'all doing.
Because that's what writing a vision and making it plain is all about. It's being as tedious in the marriage as you was with planning a wedding. Right? It was, everything was detailed. Everybody had a job. You had the location. You knew the colors, like the way the food, the cake. You knew how everything was going to be, who was invited, how many people were going to show up. If you had extra for people, how many like everything was so intricately planned for a success. So the same thing in your marriage, intricately plan the things that you're saying, okay, now let's do a reevaluation. This is where we are.
Right.
I'm going to celebrate you. It's like that report card your teacher gave. They are doing very well in here. We want to celebrate the parts in which they are doing good at. They can use a little bit more improvement in this area or this area. Here are some study guides or tools that can help you, right? If they need you to be a little more freakier, they may say you might want to watch a little video or two, right? If you want them to be a little bit more sensitive, you may have to be like, okay, when you talk, you hurt my feelings. You can really tell people how you want them to treat you in the same way, you know, vice versa. So I think that if we started doing that, we could really be seeing who can love each other more, competing at loving each other at the level in which we desire for the higher, right? So I'm hiring you to love me on my desired level. So these are the things that I can use from you as feedback. This is what I see in the area of bossing up in our love life, right? And so if we take care of that, everything else gets taken care of. I mean, relationship is the source of everything. If the girl done had a good time, she coming into work happy.
Come on now.
If you had it, the man and had a good morning, he coming in. Hey, how you doing? It changes. It gives you a little bit more pep in your step. Okay. So I say be intentional about bossing up in your love life, that you don't just allow the thing that the world gives you joy, gives you validation for, to be the driving force in your life.
To be in control of that thing.
Yes. Have balance in time in bossing, and make sure that you are bossing up equally in every area. So I want to be a boss wife.
So y'all keep each other accountable with that too.
I want to be a boss friend. Make sure the areas of your life that you can improve, that you want the position still in, because if you don't want the position no more, then you ain't got to work at it. You ain't got to take no extra certificate, certifiable classes.
What we doing?
You ain't got to do none of that. But if you want to increase that relationship, that territory, that boss status, if you want to go to higher levels in that area, then it's about finding balance in what you do and what you don't do, right? How you feel and how you don't feel. Is really realizing that bossing up is in more than just business. It's in all areas. So if you can take that relationship as seriously as you do that business or that job or your kids. I had to learn that, right? And I'm thinking, oh, I'm doing my job. Oh, yeah.
You're going to get a word.
I got to get a word today. In my job, in my this, in my that. So we're going to get y'all a word because we coming up at the 45-minute. So our hour is coming to a nice end.
Your impressive is good.
Ain't it busting?
That thing is going through me, honey. That was a good addition to that coffee too.
I hope we look like we eating too, honey, and we not mukbanging like one else.
It's all right. We just normal people.
And of course, well, what was that? We just lost a signal. To God be the glory. We're going to find out what our word is for today. We're talking about how can we be a boss in our love life. Coffee conversation in Kia's kitchen.
And KK.
She said, you just smacking too.
What y'all eating on? Are y'all eating on anything? Like when y'all are on with us? Are you sipping some coffee too? some water? What y'all doing? Let us know. I'll be wondering that. Or you just looking inside the camera?
Are you even dressed?
Right, because at a point, remember, we started out in them robes. We was not dressed.
I mean, we was dressed underneath the robes. We just was giving the robe life, and then it was just like,
yeah, that's true.
You know, I was just throwing on the robe.
I mean, yeah, we had something on, you know, not like that.
But we're gonna be bringing the robes back.
But we gonna be
in the wintertime. I want to give me a. You know how you got your red plush one? I gotta find me a teal one, or somebody can send me one. Yes. But no, I'm gonna find me a teal one so that I can have our plush.
Okay.
I need to order. Fall is coming through. Fall is kicking down the door. She said nope. She didn't even didn't get to make my coffee yet, but dressed.
Oh, okay.
You going somewhere? I turned to excellence.
Okay.
And I think that this is a mighty word for us, saying that is one thing, you know, it's not the boss status, it's the time status. And since obedience is better than sacrifice, obedience speaks on time. And so how excellent you are is to be in right timing, right? To be a boss in all areas, to take the time to nurture every facet of yourself, whatever that looks like. And don't just focus on one thing, but focus on everything, because that is what balance looks like. And that's what excellence is all about. It's about finding the boss in you in every role, title, and assignment that God has placed on you. So we're going to read excellence because we're going to make it work. Finally, my brothers and sisters, always think about what is true. Think about what is noble, right, and pure. Think about what is lovely and worthy of respect. If anything is excellent or worthy of praise, think about those kinds of things. Philippians 4:8. By his divine power, God has given us everything we need for living, a godly life. We have received all of this by coming to know him, the one who called us to himself by means of his marvelous glory and excellence. 2 Peter 1:3. The answer is, if you eat or drink or if you do anything, do it all for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. Father, I know you don't need me, but I pray you will use me. I want to achieve great things in your name. I'm excited about the purpose you have given me, and I want to serve you and bring you glory. Plant your word in my heart and empower me with the ability to reflect your goodness and your excellence in everything you ask me to do. In which areas would you like to be excellent for God? Ooh, what's another word?
That was good. See that?
You see that? And so what areas that you want to be excellent? So we definitely want to be excellent for God in relationship.
Y'all are excited about the purpose he has given you. I am excited about the purpose you have given me. And I want to serve you and bring you glory. How many of us is excited about the purpose he has given us? And then that's a good, remember I said, like, what's my purpose? Some people struggle with that. And it's like, how could you be happy if you don't understand what your purpose is? Because some people take them a minute to understand why they're here. Like, everybody's here for a reason. So, and when you finally realize what is your purpose on life, and you just like, you work every day to fulfill that purpose that he put you here for. You know what I mean? That's a good deep one too.
Well, that's why
that was good.
That's
and you
why,
do it in excellence.
In excellence. How excellent.
How excellent.
And to each is good. Send me that book, please. I don't even know where I found this book at. In the back of Ross.
Right, she was in Ross shopping.
Right. I go in the back and look for like inspiration. So I have prayers and promises for women. I found this one. Next time I go in there, I'll see it. And I found this one. some time ago because I was thinking like this would be a great guide to read and then do inspiration because I just need a quote and I can just run with it. So it was like, these would be great things to start. Soft then that's what I said. It was leather and soft and it's sturdy and it's. So that's why I was like, let's share honor. Like it's so many amazing things and everything had a scripture to it.
And look, you went 2 colors.
Yeah, and it right.
That purple, I love that.
And
purple.
So I love purple, the healing with the royalty together. So together that they just look so beautiful. So that's one of the reasons why I grabbed it. I got one that's for relationships.
Oh, you do?
Got 2 for relationships, yes, because we do that and that. So like if I'm doing perspective with the Paulins, we can go on one of those. And,
like that? Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
I think that one is on my desk, but this one is one that's safe for couples.
Oh yeah. You be finding them little books.
Yeah, this is Daily Strength for Couples.
Oh yeah, you find a lot of them.
So this too, I found in Ross. So like
go to Ross, Arthur. You just gotta go to Ross.
I have to go look in there. This says 365 daily devotions, a little guide time for couples.
Oh my goodness.
So like so they'd be cute things, faith and failure. So I would just open it up and read one.
And that's
Chef Ron be sick of me, but I'm telling you, I'm that part. But he sits there, he takes it all in. I just be
and
talking.
It's like, give me a word, girl. Let me go through a book and just turn to a page, and you just never know what it's gonna say. Be right on time.
One thing for sure, 2 things for certain. He definitely is the most amazing soundboard because he takes it all in. I know sometimes he just be zoning out like, is she still talking? Sometimes I look at him and I'm like, you didn't hear what I said, did you? And then sometimes I know that he gets it because he be like, then he starts feeding off it. I was like, see, we could go on the road together. Yeah, because when I say something, he gets to saying something. I'm like, that's a whole, and then the rib is around the heart, and then you protect. Like I got this whole new word. I said, we go to Lansing Marriage University because I told you in October we're doing all of the programs back up. So perspective with the Paulins, it would be that.
He needs somebody that's why I said, God, you just never know.
Iron sharpens iron.
That part. Regenerating to fulfill my purpose, assisting people in their healing of mind, body, spirit, and finances through God's promises and the abilities and gifts He blessed me with. All right, now. Kia, did you just tell me to go to Rothstein?
Oh, Ross.
Ross.
Where am I?
Ross. Are you talking about the store where she get the books from?
She in Jamaica. She's saying, you tell me to go to Ross. Where am I? You forgot. She's in Jamaica.
My bad. Yeah, the next time you gonna have to take me to Ross.
But I'm gonna look on Amazon and see if this is actually. These are probably brands.
You ain't lying, Aunt. I wonder if they would have it online.
This is called Broad Street. No. At the end of the day.
You're gonna have to just keep looking out for them.
I'm gonna tell you the best guide you ever gonna have, you already got. And that's 365 days of loving yourself to life, becoming the gift you was always meant to be. It is an affirmation for every single day, filled with some prophetic poetry and some testimonies. And let me tell you something, honey. I hear that when you read this alongside the Bible, which a lot of groups are doing it right now, that no matter if they miss 3 to 4 days, for some reason, when they open back up to where they are, it fits the scripture, right? Because when I say God to use me, I meant every bit of it. So this right here is going to take you on the best love journey you could ever go on with yourself. And when you got 365 days of these, let's just do one for today.
Loving yourself to life.
Day 168. I just opened it up for you. And it says, get to know who you are before someone tries to tell you who you are. Make sure that the reflection in the mirror is yours. That's day 168, honey. So I need you to sit with that for today. Get to know who you are before someone tries to tell you who you are. Make sure that the reflection in the mirror is yours. Make sure that when you bring Your God peace, that perfect peace, the peace that looks like nobody else, that when he goes to put it in the puzzle, that is everything God, right? That it doesn't look like anybody else, because guess what? We got a peace for that. So make sure that you are molded into your position so that you could bring your peace in the bigger picture, which is God, which is life, which is everything.
Wow. She said that she has a daily word for women. My books are MIA. Where are they at?
I have a daily word.
Romeo?
I have a daily word for women. Oh, you have one of those already? My books are MIA.
Somebody done got her.
Oh, you said you had a daily word for women that you bought and then you lost your books? Your books got missing? Let me tell you something. Oh, Lord.
You probably let somebody borrow a girl and they ain't give it back good.
Listen, that's why you got to have a whole fleet in them.
You got to stop putting.
And you got to keep up with it, because the only reason why I got it, because I got to keep it in my bag, honey. I'm telling you. My stuff would be missing too if it wasn't something that I made sure that I needed with me. So I get it and I put it in my bag. I keep it with me. You ain't about to steal my stuff.
You about to steal my
you
stuff.
You ain't about to steal my healing, honey. One thing you ain't about to steal is my healing, okay?
365 is MIA and I had 2. Why your books keep going missing?
Somebody getting blessed though. That's a stolen 365.
Them and returning them, honey.
They are being blessed right now.
See that means you need another one. See, it ain't digital yet, so.
Yeah, 365 is not digital.
You're gonna have to get another one.
But I'm
that's one.
God knows that's my next project. But anyway, we have come to the hour. This has been an amazing conversation as always. This is my Sabbath, and we're going to get our 3 cards before we leave. We had the 57-minute. We're doing great timing. We have rationed our conversation. We have gotten a good word. Excellence. That's what we're operating out of. Excellence. And now we're about to pull the I am. The ABCs of how special I am.
I am.
I am.
Not you are.
Not you are.
I am.
I am.
How special are you? Well, you're one of a kind.
Okay. How special I am.
Yeah, worry about you. Worry about somebody else.
Where's Nancy today? I know you'll catch the replay, boo-boo. And then we're going to make sure we stand it long enough for, I am the bridge. I am my Zen, and I'm worthy. These are 3 amazing cards that go very well with excellence. And bossing up in all areas of your life, honey, so that your time management can be equated to quality and not quantity. Good God Almighty. We want to equate your time management to quality and not quantity. We don't care how much you got if it's not full. If it's not a fullness, right? And so remember that you are the bridge.
Wow, that was good.
You are your Zen. And you are worthy.
You are your Zen.
Come on now.
What are you telling yourself? Calm yourself down. Only you can do it. You are your Zen.
I am the bridge, meaning somebody needs to get across because you showed up in your excellence. You centered yourself and realized that you were the peace you were looking for. And then you found yourself worthy. You found yourself worth the yes. You see that Y on the end? It says worth the yes. Yes, you are. You are worthy. So I hope that you understand that without you, somebody won't get over. So be the bridge because you found the Zen, the peace in being worthy. Come on now. Find the peace in being worthy because you operated in the excellence of getting back up again, right? That's the only thing that makes you excellent. Not that you found out that you did it perfect. But that you got back up again and you understand that you was worth the yes because you activated your Zen, your peace, and you became a bridge for somebody else. So remember, it is a relay race and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print It tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. So remember, we don't compete. Oh, no, no, no. We complete. And the difference between those two words is an L. And L stands for love because love grows everything. So remember, you can never turn on anybody else's light. Oh, no. But you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It is your responsibility. Remember, that's the ability of measurement in which you can respond. Everybody has one. So don't forget, you've been tuned into Coffee and Conversations. So don't forget to wake up and make today count. Remember, love goes everything. So love yourself first. I choose me. Hashtag no more excuses because you were born enough. We love you.
Love you
we
guys.
Will see you guys back here Wednesday for another
Coffee and Conversation.
Another episode. And I do mean episode.
Winning Wednesday, hump day, whatever you call your Wednesday.
And we'll see you there.
See y'all Wednesday.
Take care of yourselves. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.